where we're headed, what you've got coming around to you right now, just to give you an introduction, it's 4 pages of data. It's 4 pages of data. To save you some time of actually writing stuff down. What we're about to look at are how to conduct those studies. Oh, thank you. How to conduct the studies that the previous lesson's homework was referring to. So if you look back to the question Laura just asked, you know, that white wine, red wine, how was that study actually conducted? And I don't mean how was the data collected. I mean, once they had the data, which is most of the work, how were the numbers actually crunched to come to the conclusion that red wine makes blood platelet aggregation better? How were the data actually crunched to show that white wine doesn't? How were the data actually crunched to show that rixipracaboran, whatever the hell that drug was, gave you less internal bleeding than warfarin, I think was the other, there was a couple different. How was the study data crunched that media multitaskers do worse on average on menial tasks or memory tasks than people who aren't media multitaskers? How are all these numbers actually turned into a p-value? Because the p-value, I think we have an idea of what they mean now. When the p-values are small, something's different. When the p-values are big, something hasn't necessarily changed at all. The question is, how do we get those p-values? That's what I want to spend time with today. I want to spend time today trying to figure out how we get those values. How indeed we get those values. And when I say today, I mean today and the rest of the course. Because that's what we're going to do pretty much from now on out. Now I want you to think about where we've been so far. On that last exam you guys just got back and the stuff you just turned in, I had you estimating 2 parameters. A population proportion, which we call little p, and a population average, which we call little sound a cat makes. Mew. There we go. Mew. Exactly. Little mew. Little mew. This is what I woke up to this morning. Feed me. My bowl's empty. Yes, I know. It's 3:30. Get the hell off my lap. Cats. Useless. Anyway, we're going to stick with those variables. We're going to stick with those variables. But instead of simply estimating them now, we're going to test them to see if they change after certain experimental effects happen. So this first, if you will, topic is called hypothesis testing a claim on little p. And what we're going to learn as we go through today is also a 4-step plan. I have like a 4-step plan I like to walk through for hypothesis testing. It's a nice way of simplifying the steps in a hypothesis test down, because it can seem a little bit, I don't know what the word is, a little bit convoluted at first. Let's see. Let's have a note first. All right. So, what I want you to do as you get the data sheets coming around to you guys is take a look at the very, very first data set on the first data sheet. And it involves a flu vaccine. It involves a flu vaccine. And we're going to attack the question, is a flu vaccine working? I.e., is a flu vaccine effective? So we're going to pretend we're the CDC. This is the kind of thing a CDC would have to do. We got this new pharmaceutical company that is trying to market a new vaccine, say for flu, during flu season. And the CDC has to make a call on whether or not their flu vaccine is effective or not. Okay? And basically, if the CDC trial goes through, they can market this drug, they can sell it to whoever wants to buy their flu vaccine, and you can get the flu shot every October, or at least this October, and see if it works. But if not, back to the drawing board. So you guys read that very first, it's not very much to it. There's not very much to that first data sheet. I think it's 3 or 4 sentences tops. But you read it. Tell me what you think. I'm just going to read it. It's okay. Real simple data set.